Well, there's no screws protruding through the side of the van, so that's a good sign. So far what I've managed to get done is put the upright beams in place at the front and at the back. I've put some beams across those just to make sure that the frame is rigid enough. I now need to put in some more upright supports, because the weight of the bed will be supported on this beam here, and that alone isn't strong enough to hold that in place. I just need to cut this piece out from the end of each piece of timber that focus. I need to cut that out of each piece of timber that intersects where I have a bracing joint, one of those L brackets. For every one of those, obviously I just need to remove a little piece so that the wood sits flush. Perfecto! This fella here, that one's going to support the bed. The bed's going to sit on top of that, so it needs to be pretty strong in terms of how much weight it can carry. So I'm going to have to support that really well, and I'll do that by putting struts underneath there. And this one is bolted to a cross member, so that's as solid as a rock. Behind here is just regular ply against an open cavity, so that's going to need some really good support. That moment where you realise you've been talking for 20 minutes to the camera and it wasn't on record. Amazing. Most of last night's footage was lost because, I don't know if you know this, if you use a DSLR camera to record video, it stops recording after 30 minutes, and I've been pretty good at keeping an eye on that, except for last night when it stopped recording. So side panels are on. There is a ply front panel on there now as well. Not that it needed any further rigidity, but I just wanted to use some stronger wood on the front. And I think it looks kind of nice actually. I sanded that down. So all of the corners are all pretty smooth. In fact all of it's pretty smooth really. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen that Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, I posted some kind of sneak previews of where I was with the bed. I initially had some large side panels on the bed, mainly to add some rigidity to stop there being any kind of bending. I didn't like that. Something about it just didn't ring true, and so I've reverted to just using plain wood. I've got 3 pieces that run the length of the bed, and they're, I mean, you know, it doesn't bend at all now. It's solid. So the bed just the bed just slides in, and that's it. You can see over here on the wall, it intersects with this section of the wall here, and that's pretty solid. And there's plenty of support on this side where the bed is. That's pretty solid. And I can get up here. And have a whale of a time. What you got to remember is this is not made for me. It's not made for adults, it's made for a child. So there's actually plenty of space for my son, but not necessarily plenty of space for me. But even, you know, at a push, if I had to sleep on here, I probably could. There's not a lot of headroom, but then, do you need a lot of headroom when you're sleeping? So there's going to be a mattress on here as well, which will make it more comfortable. It's going to be a really thin mattress though, so as not to add any extra weight. I'm going to have to build some kind of steps that will pull out from here, just allow slightly easier access to the bed, because getting in and out at the moment is a little bit fun. It's a little bit funky, but yeah, it's turned out better than I thought it would, so I'm quite happy with that. Morning. Busy day. I'm going to continue on with this cupboard, going to finish that off today in terms of construction. Then I need to look into the idea of covering it with something, not butter, that would be no good. Then I need to get on with some electrical stuff. I need to run some power cables around to that side of the van, over there where my thumb is pointing. Follow the thumb. Noisy car. Yeah, so I need to run some power around there for some lights, for the water pump, and for... what else for?
Toughness to bring there I was at Sandhurst, and I love that life. I still think our British Army is the best.
It holds reasonably well, but I was intending to only use one magnetic catch on each door. Looks like I'm going to have to double up and put one on the other side as well. Yesterday I was using this stuff, Plastic Coat. It gives a kind of speckled finish, like a rubberized speckled finish to anything that you spray it on, and it was actually pretty good. I was quite impressed with it, just not with its coverage. It's supposed to do 2.2 square meters per can. I don't think it does anywhere near that. So I've been out this morning and bought a couple of more tins of this. So this is how yesterday finished up looking. The front panel has had 2 coats, and I actually really like the effect that gives. It's almost like a grey sandpaper effect, but it's actually not. It's pretty smooth to the touch. It's like a rubberized feeling. I kind of wish I'd found this before I covered the kitchen and everything else. This side panel needs a second coat. You can see that that's still quite patchy. I've left this cupboard to dry for a couple of hours, and I've just come back to check on it and see how it's looking. I'm really impressed actually. It looks pretty good, and it's finished. I've used all of the spray paint. Well, maybe I've got just 8 sprays left, just to cover up any holes that I may have left. But it's looking pretty good. I'll show you how it's looking now. So yeah, I've only done the outside. The inside's going to be mainly covered. But it's just a really awesome effect. It's like, yeah, I think I said before, like grey sandpapery type effect. I really like it. Why do I always find the worst possible way to put a screw in? How do normal people do this stuff? Because it's all a little bit guessy.